pretty much 1 cup. For those of you who don't have scales at home. And then I added a little bit of salt also to this. And what we're going to do is mix it all together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by making a well. So that's basically just a hole in the center of the flour. Kind of hard to see. This is, easier to do in person than, but here we go. So then we're going to pour the water right into the center. And then a good pasta dough has a tiny bit of olive oil. This is just a single estate extra virgin olive oil that we use at the restaurant. As you can see, I'm not measuring it. It is just a little splash. It's just more for flavor than anything. And then we're gonna just mix this around. The technique for doing this is what they call a cloth. So basically, I'm holding my hand like this and using it as a mixer.
Chef, did you always want to be a chef when you were growing up?
It went back and forth, but yes. So I actually didn't take this direct route. When I was a kid, in 8th grade, I told my mom I wanted to go to culinary school, and she said, in a very loving way, no. She said, you need to go to college, get a job where you can have a family and make the right amount of money, etc. And so that's how I ended up sort of where I am. I went to undergrad for government, master's in education, worked on a second master's in nonprofit management, ran into a kid who asked me why he should follow his dreams if I hadn't, and then I changed careers. So now I'm here.
That's excellent.
I'm gonna angle this down so you can see the sort of dough. It's basically a shaggy mess at this point, which is what you're looking for. Then I sort of dump it out onto a bowl, and I'm gonna squeeze it together. And just sort of fold it in on itself.
Chef, are you from Quincy or the South Shore? Do you live locally?
No to both.
Okay.
I would love to live locally if anyone has a free place to live. But no, I moved down to Providence actually when we opened, so I commute in every day. It's just honestly so much more affordable to live, not anywhere near here, and so I don't. And then the other thing, I'm from Worcester, or the Worcester area originally.
Gotcha. So what made you choose Quincy?
Right opportunity. We were looking for a space for a while. We looked at a bunch of different areas, but this one really just caught our eye, and we sort of fell in love with the space and developed it from there. So now I'm just kneading the dough. Basically, I want to work it so that all of the protein in the flour, also known as gluten, sort of gets worked in. And we start to pick up all the little pieces that have fallen apart. But as you can see, it's starting to come together really nicely.
You served gluten-free pasta, Angela wants to know.
I don't right now. I have in the past. We did a corn-based pasta when we first opened that I absolutely love. It's basically made out of masa, and it's got a really nice fluffy texture, almost like a gnocchi, but a little bit denser.
What is your favorite thing to cook? Whether at the restaurant or just in general? I know you like to make sourdough, so.
I do indeed. All right, you cut out a tiny bit. What was the question?
What's your favorite thing to cook at the restaurant?
At the restaurant, I don't have one. No, I have terrible ADHD, and so like I'm always trying to learn new things and do new things, and it's better for me to just stay interested. And so in order to do that, I'm always looking to try and do new things, push myself and my team further, and see where we can go.
That's great. Love that.
At home, it's cereal.
Homemade cereal or just?
No. I found this, what I like to call adult version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch because it's organic.
If anyone has any questions, just either throw it in the chat or I'll unmute you and you can like raise a hand and ask Chef Ashley
So
anything.
now we're at a point where it's nice, it's pretty smooth. It's got a nice like bounce to it and elasticity. And from here, this is a really simple pasta dough. It's ready to roll. So we're gonna do a couple different types. That way you can get an idea of things that you can do at home. And let me just grab a pastry cutter. This is just a broad metal tool. If you don't have one of these at home, you can just use a butter knife. The first thing I wanted to show you is a pasta that I like to make called stracciatella, which is basically like tiny little noodles. So basically, it's super easy. You don't need any rollers. You just pull a little piece off, and then you're gonna roll it on a non-floured surface until the ends are thin and the center is fat. And it's a nice, quick, easy pasta shape. And it's great. It's also if you have kids at home and you're looking for a pasta project, something that they can make themselves. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter so much what it looks like, so much as like, it tastes good.
Chef, do you have to use semolina flour? Can you use regular flour?
You can use regular AP flour. The ratio varies a little bit. You're gonna end up using less water. But it honestly, like the flavor of semolina is just so much better. And you can get it at a lot of local stores. You can also buy it online and have it shipped to you. It just tastes a lot better. This pasta shape is really good for like lighter sauces, or like, if you're doing just like simple cacio e pepe, which is, a little bit of pasta water, some cracked black pepper, and some Parmesan. Or if you wanted to do a pesto, I did this last week with a pesto that I made out of pumpkin seeds, basil, and arugula. But it lends itself well to things that have a thinner sauce.
So Chef, with the pasta that you're making, do you have to use it right away, or can you refrigerate it and use it at a later time?
Nope. So the best thing about making this pasta is you can either go straight into water or you can freeze it. And if you freeze it, it'll last for months. So you never have to worry about making too much because you can always use it later. For a home use, like this is a 2-cup, what they call a 2-cup batch, which is you weigh the batch based on the flour. But that'll be enough pasta for 2 to 3 people.
Can I ask you to define what a light sauce would be versus a heavy sauce?
Sure. So when they say a light sauce, generally what I'm referring to is something that in texture is thinner. So like a bolognese, for example, is a heavy meat sauce. It's rich, it's hearty, it's got a lot of texture to it. Something like that is going to be more akin to something that can pick up the sauce, whereas something like this goes more well with, either a stock or a sauce-based pasta, or a pesto because it's thinner, or this would also be good with like an Alfredo or a mac and cheese. And then the other thing too is we're just gonna coat it with a little bit of semolina And then from there, they can literally go straight into a pot, and then that shape is pretty much done. Another shape we can do with the same exact pasta dough is called cavatelli. Cavatelli is great for like bolognese or a heavier sauce because it has it's like a thumbprint cookie. Think about it that way. Like you put a thumbprint in it so that it picks up the jelly. You're basically putting fingerprints into this so that you can pick up the sauce. So first thing I'm going to do is take any of the extra semolina off my hands because you want this to be a little bit sticky at first so that you can roll it out. And you're just going to roll it into a nice little log.
Chef, can you tell us a little bit about idle hour for those who don't know that much about it? Maybe just give us a quick background.
Yeah, I will do that in 1 second. So from here, we're going to cut this, and then you're going to use your fingers to mark where you should cut. So I'm going to pinch in a little bit so that it has a little bit of an indent, and then that's how I know where to cut it. Like I said, you can also use a butter knife if you don't have this, but it's the easiest way to keep a nice, consistent, and even piece. And then from here, once we have these pieces, it's really simple. So you're gonna put it down, and this is also all assuming you don't have any tools at home, right? Because here what I'll do is I'll roll this on what they call a gnocchi board, which is just a wood board with little slits in it. But you can do it at home, and you literally just take 2 fingers. You want to make sure they're even, and then you're gonna press in the center, and pull back, and then you have this really cute little shape that has this nice little pocket here, and that allows you to pick up the sauce but still have some chew and texture to your pasta. Once again, we're just going to push down and pull, and then it rolls. And this is what they call cavatelli. Also super simple to do at home and requires 0 tools. Idle hour. So idle hour is actually it's Matt and I's baby. Matt and I met as the as 2 of the opening managers of the Beat Hotel in Cambridge. He was the general manager, or I'm sorry, the assistant general manager, and I was my first job as a sous chef. And we bonded late night and ended up talking about how one day we were going to own our own place and yada, yada, yada. So fast forward to 8 years later, we still had that same desire, and we found the right space, and we opened Idle Hour. So Idle Hour is basically, us putting our money where our mouths are. We're the type of people who are gonna say, that's not how you should do that. That's not how you should do that. Yada yada. And so this is us trying to do everything the way we think should be the right way. So the food here is, super approachable. It's also as farm to table as I can get it. I like to use sustainable seasonal cooking whenever humanly possible. It's not always possible, but when I can, I do. And then everything's just super playful. We did one of the things that we're probably pretty well known for at this point is a mozzarella stick, but it's not your average mozzarella stick. So it's a Cajun risotto that we basically sushi roll around mozzarella, and then we freeze the rice in mozzarella rolls. Then we bread them, deep fry them, and we serve them with a remoulade, which is a sauce out of the Cajun South that's got a little bit of spice but a mayo backbone. And basically it creates this really nice, chewy texture. It allows the cheese to stay in every single bite, because it always bothers me when you get mozzarella and it just goes in your hand. Our cocktail program is similar. We do all of our juices. We juice from scratch. And Katrina will talk a little bit more about our bar program. but it's a super laid back, easy place to hang out, enjoy drinks with coworkers or friends. We're pretty able to accommodate, smaller children when we can, but, we also end up throwing a huge party at night, which is always a blast. But so this is the cavatelli. It's, like I said, super, super simple. This is already enough for one person. It doesn't take that much time. I'm telling you, if you try this at home, you will never buy box pasta again, except for the nights you're really lazy, which we all know happens. I do the same. But the texture and the flavor of this is just absolutely incredible. And so, like, for something like this is the sauce that I made earlier in the week. This is a bolognese. This is the type of pasta sauce that you want to use for a cavatelli, because it'll scoop up all of that delicious, like, meaty vegetable sauce in all the little crevices and holes, and then it's just fantastic. And so that's two super simple, easy things that you can do at home using the same pasta dough. Like I said, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So if you don't have a scale, it's 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of water, pinch of salt, drizzle olive oil, done. The best thing about pasta is it's super forgiving. Like, if it ends up a little too dry, you just add a little bit of water. If it ends up a little bit too wet, you just add a little bit of flour. There's really nothing about this that is gonna boggle anyone's mind. And even if it ends up really ugly, I promise you it'll be delicious.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you doing curbside pickup?
So right now, that's a complicated question. Right now, we are currently doing a little bit of pre-order stuff. So, like, the bolognese that I made was for a pre-order for this past weekend. And so that's coming with some fresh frozen pasta, a pint of bolognese, and then you sort of eat quick at home. But then we're also doing nights like tonight, where, like, tonight's barbecue night. And so pulled pork and brisket sandwiches with some pimento cheese, potato salad, some coleslaw, some cornbread, and then a strawberry rhubarb shortcake. And so, like, tonight, that's what we're doing. We won't do anything for the next couple days because we don't really have a lot of staff right now because of everything that's going on. And so I'm doing a lot of this myself, but one of my best friends from middle school, her wedding was supposed to be this coming weekend, and it got pushed to next year. But we're going to do a small ceremony, so I'm taking care of that this weekend. But we'll be back next week. We're thinking about doing maybe something for Memorial Day, maybe some, like, burgers and hot dogs type situation. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I mean, we're sort of taking it week by week and trying to figure out, based on weather and people's needs.
Where do we find your menu when you are offering takeout?
So either you can follow us on Instagram at idlehourquincy.com, and we post all of our menus there. Or if you want to just check our website at idlehourquincy.com, that's also a great place to look.
I have one question because I have to know. Was it as enjoyable as I think it is to beat Bobby Flay, or was it, if everyone, Chef Ashley was on Beat Bobby Flay and she won. So I'm just deeply curious if it's really, like, good.
No, it was a really fantastic feeling. The whole experience was both nerve-wracking and anxiety-driven. And it's like, the whole experience is just really fantastic. Everyone there was treated me really well, and I think one of my highlights too was getting to meet Wiley Dufresne, who's a mentor, not a mentor of mine. He's someone I admire. That's the right phrase. And so all of that was just really fantastic, and beating Bobby Flay definitely felt great.
That was so great. Thank you, Chef Ashley. I think everybody enjoyed it and was a good
Awesome.
time. Yeah.
So I will transfer you
Go
over to Katrina then, who can talk a little bit more about our bar program and introduce you to a cocktail, which I think, 4:30 on a Friday, that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
We're gonna move. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to let Katrina take over and set it up from here. where you want it. Hey guys.
Hi,
Hey,
Katrina.
How are you?
good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for doing it.
Oh yeah. Can you guys hear me with the mask and everything?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, awesome, perfect. So today we're gonna be making a cocktail on our menu. It's called the Dirty Bird. So a couple of
My
ingredients.
favorite.
Yes, it's so good.
It is my favorite. It's so good. It's ridiculous. It's
Flavor profile is it's gonna be has a little bit of smokiness to it from the mezcal that we're gonna be putting in there. A little bit of fruitiness from the pineapple. We're gonna have some lime in there, some Campari as well to give it a little bit like of a bitterness to it as well. And then some Demerara simple syrup. It's like a brown sugar simple syrup. So we're gonna start off. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of our lime juice. And then 1/2 ounce of Demerara simple syrup. And then we'll do 1/2 ounce of Campari. I can get this top off. Feel a little rusty being behind the bar right now because I haven't been here we were just calculating, it's been like 2 months since I've been here. So it's a little weird.
That's,
And then
that's a long time.
I know, it feels like forever. Then we'll do 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice. We'll toss that right in there. And then we'll do 1.25 ounces of mezcal. And then typically at this step, I would take our Lewis bag and our mallet and we would crush ice behind the bar. I already got started with that, so I have my crushed ice ready to go. So we'll put some in the a little Collins glass as well. Just like that. And then we'll top off our little shaker with some fresh ice as well. And then we're gonna give that a good quick shake. Okay. And
Can you
then,
tell us a little bit about mezcal? What it is?
yeah, so it's gonna be made of agave. It's a type of tequila. It just has like that smoky flavor to it. Start pouring that right on here. Has everyone been trying to make cocktails and everything at home during all the quarantine?
Me, I've been doing my takeout at Widowmaker and a few other places.
Oh yes, Widowmaker has had some really cool stuff. I got a couple beers for Cinco de Mayo from there last week.
Yeah. And I've decimated my wine rack, as you can see. It's like
Oh yeah.
half gone.
And you kind of have to give it like a stir, just because of the crushed ice. It takes up a lot of the rum in the glass. And then there you go. We have a Dirty Bird. So I've been here since we opened Idle Hour for about two years. It was my first bartending restaurant gig actually, and I've been learning so much to be here and everything, and it's been awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What did you do before then, Katrina?
So I started off serving. So I've been in like the restaurant business for a long time. But I am a full-time student right now as well. I go to nursing school, and I have to make some money somehow. So
Yep.
bartending was a good gig for that.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. No
All
problem.
right, what's your favorite drink to drink, and what's your favorite drink to make?
Favorite drink to drink. I mean, I love my tequila. I could always go for like a classic Tommy Margarita, like anytime. Yeah.
Now, what is that for us not margarita drinkers? You said a Tommy margarita?
Tommy margarita is just like a classic margarita. Uses like agave, lime, and tequila. Super simple, but super good. It has like a little bit of sweetness from the agave. You do an ounce of lime, and then typically about 2 ounces of any of your preference of tequila.
Favorite tequila?
Oh, love Espolón. I love like Casamigos, something like nice and smooth and clean. Yeah. But a good mezcal margarita is really good too. So gives it like that smoky flavor as well.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
So Quincy's got a lot of people coming in from different parts of the country. Do you find that people are throwing weird concoctions at you that you don't know about in the Boston area? Or there are some real regional differences with younger people who are coming to this area about favorite drinks?
Yeah, sometimes I'll be in contact with a couple people that are looking for something a little different off the menu. And we're not afraid to, experiment and, craft something to their liking. But I'm always learning behind here. So, I'm always willing to, learn about a new cocktail or experiment with something.
You're here. What's the worst drink to make when you're on a busy night?
Oh, worst drink to make on a busy night?
Oh, I know what.
I would think Long Island iced tea or Grateful Dead, but I don't know really what people.
Long Island iced tea probably would be like a good one that I would prefer not to make on a busy night, just because there's so many bottles that you have to touch to be able to make it. I'd probably say that one.
Didn't mean to give you your answer. I'm just thinking I was like, what is like the I'm a jerk, on a busy Friday night? And that would be my go-to.
Oh yeah, mojitos. I mean, sometimes, we'll get like a whole group of people that want mojitos, and, I'm here muddling a bunch of mint and lime, and, sometimes they can clog my drain. And so then I have an issue over there, and, but we make it work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Was great. Everyone learned some things, learned some pasta, learned some drinks.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Since we couldn't go there in a couple of weeks for an actual after hours, I'm really happy that we were able to do this and introduce people to Idle Hour. I started stalking them as Eat South Shore and didn't quit until they agreed to become members and participate with us. So I'm really happy that all of you got to meet them and see how great they are, and the work that they're doing is really delicious. So I highly recommend going over there.
Yeah, great. Can't wait to visit when you guys are back open. We're excited for that.
Same.
You guys, I'm so excited for like some socialization and seeing people. I'm dying in my tiny little apartment.
Can't wait for a Wednesday night Long Island iced tea then.
Yes.
I want a mojito. I'm sorry.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
Bye.
Thanks, Heather and everyone. It was really great.
Do you guys want to continue we were going to network after they were. That's Matt. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I figured I should actually say hello. I'm Matt.
Matt.
Idle Hour. Thanks for joining us via the internet. I love my bar as the background. For some of you, that's the greatest. I've never done a Zoom call before. I didn't even know you could do that. So you've got the picture. We've got the real.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nice. Hi, Matt. We've been emailing.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. This was fun.
This is cool. I got to watch from behind the scenes. So Ashley does. Katrina did a great job. Oh, you lose someone?
I want to say hi to Katrina from her mom.
Oh.
Hi, Katrina.
Hey. You joined.
Invite.
Good, good.
So I have a question. What's your signature dish?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, you know, we change the menu constantly, which is kind of our thing, almost to a point where people get mad at us that it changes so frequently. But since day one, the only things that have been on the menu continuously is our house burger. You know, again, I don't know if I actually mentioned it, but everything's from scratch here. So we're even making the buns in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, from the buns to the pickles, all of it. Cutting the fries every day. That's on a really great everything bagel seasoned bun, which I absolutely love. And then our mozzarella sticks have been on the menu since the beginning, which is this cool combination of like an arancini and a mozzarella stick if they got together. So it's like an arancini, so a rice ball that has mozzarella inside. So when you open it, it still pulls like a mozzarella stick. So those are super popular. And I can't think of anything else that's been on the menu since the beginning.
Not since the beginning.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
might be the only
Those are
two
the two
things.
staples, yeah.
Is there anything you're having a hard time getting your hands on ingredients wise? Because I know you guys try to do farm to table as much as possible.
Well, at the moment, we're not really open. We're doing like random pop-up nights. Tonight we did barbecue. So we did smoked brisket and pulled pork. Those things were not exactly difficult to get a hold of, but from our end, truthfully, the cost is about double what it normally is.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, we did a burger night a few weeks ago, and the price of ground beef in particular has at least doubled since we did that night because we were looking at things we could do.
Yeah.
Just to do our regular burger would cost us twice as much as it did just a few weeks ago.
Wow. Is that kind of putting any hurdles in the way of reopening, or is that just going to kind of be priced in? Because I know you guys have enough hurdles right now. And
yeah, you know, truthfully, we haven't gotten that far yet. It's step one, figure out what reopening is going to look like.
Yeah.
Step two, figure out what we're going to serve at, you know, a price that we're comfortable with and we think that guests will be okay with. And,
yeah.
You know, the whole idea of we can serve whatever we want, but who's going to be willing to pay for it?
Sure. I know everyone's really excited just to be with other people and drink really expensive drinks. I mean, I'm like $45, please charge me $45. I'm ready for it.
The whole idea here is like, we want to be a place where you can come a couple nights a week and not have it be a strain on you financially. You know, we want to be able to put out a really great product that's affordable. So that balance of thinking of things that people are going to want to eat that we can do to a level that we're happy with at a price that everyone's comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you do brunch? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
Do you ever do brunches on the weekends?
I mean, you know, it's a brave new world, but up
Right.
until this point, we did brunch every Sunday morning from 10 to 2:30.
What time again?
What's that?
What time?
10:30 to 2:30. So brunch is pretty popular. It's a completely different menu. It actually grew out of, we had one sandwich. We had a late night menu when we first opened. That was our burger and a bacon, egg, and cheese. And we stopped doing late night. There just wasn't really a draw for it. But Ashley and I looked at each other like, there's no way this bacon, egg, and cheese can go away. So we started doing brunch based on that sandwich alone.
No way.
Makes their own English muffins.
Oh, that's awesome. And thank you for not starting brunch at 8:30. It's just
Oh,
too
yeah.
much pressure.
Well, I mean, that's for a selfish reason too. We're here till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Nobody wants to come right back in and get to work at 8 a.m.
And we should be there till 3:30 too.
You should be ready to knock the door down at 10:30, but we're here at like 9 getting ready. This mask is tough. I'm trying out all kinds of masks, trying to find what's going to work the best for when we reopen, assuming that we all have to wear masks. So I've ordered like 10 different things so far, and it's the first time wearing it. It's a little goofy.
That one looks great. Looks awesome.
Made out of like bathing suit material. It's like,
Yeah, thanks for that visual.
yeah. Hey, Ash. Grace is knocking on the window. I don't care. Well, what else can we, you know, AMA, is this like a TED Talk? I don't know how these things work. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Any other
guys,
questions, comments?
yeah, if you,
concerns?
any other questions?
Like to see-
If we're good, we can continue to network and they can go back to doing their takeout and, or.
Yeah, Heather, could I ask if about what level of activity do you need to make it worthwhile to be open, knowing that it's likely to be a gradual return to people coming out in public? Do you need like 30% of volume or 70% to make it worth your time?
To be quite honest, restaurants aren't built to do anything less than 100%. It's the number of employees it takes to serve 20 people is essentially the same number it serves to feed 100. So it's almost like an economies of scale for us in that the labor and the food cost is there no matter how few or how many people we serve. So if we can only have 50% of our capacity, truthfully, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but we'll figure it out. That's just the nature of it.
So do you have a target date disregarding whatever the state might say? Do you have in your mind when you think you have to wait to have enough demand with people coming in off the street to make it profitable?
Well, I don't think restaurants will allow any type of indoor seating until June 1st. And that's like a date that a lot of other restaurateurs and I have been discussing. It's just like, this May 18th isn't for us. June 1st seems like a nice round number. And what the restrictions are from there, it's anybody's guess. Looking at other states, bars aren't open, tables are 6 feet apart. You can sit on a patio, but we don't have a patio. So it's really just like hurry up and wait and see what the state tells us we can and can't do. But yeah, June 1st would be my guess, be the first day where anybody's sitting in here.
What about takeout? Does takeout help that number?
We never really had a robust takeout to begin with. We've been on Uber Eats for a minute, and frankly, I live in Quincy, and my own restaurant doesn't show up for me when I'm at home, which they can't seem to. Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense. I live 4.5 miles away from the restaurant, and I can't order my own food through Uber. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think the whole situation's changed to such that maybe takeout didn't work for us before, but going forward maybe it does. And more people are ordering out more and more, so maybe it's an opportunity we'll focus more on. But right now these pop-ups are doing enough to kind of keep the lights on. Nothing more, nothing less, but just trying to make our way through. We also have 2 pop-ups operating out of our space. We have a Nashville hot chicken sandwich pop-up called Hot Chicks. And then we have a dumpling pop-up called Mimi Shuka Diner. So they're both using our kitchen as like a commissary and either doing delivery or takeout on days when we're not here. So that's helping, and it's also getting their names out there, which is it's a cool thing to be able to do.
How did that become a thing?
Chef and I are just friends with a lot of other people in the industry, and it's that they need space, we have space, and it just worked out. So
do you see that continuing post-COVID? I mean, granted that we don't know what our new normal is, right?
Well, I mean, we don't know what it's going to look like. Yeah. There might be a program where we can do like every Tuesday is pop-up night. We invite another group in here to do something like that. It's just a way to get other groups' names out. But really the only way it looks, I won't even go to say profitable. I mean, like getting us to a point where we'll be okay is if the state allows us to open up and more importantly, guests feel comfortable coming in and dining.
Right.
If the state allowed you to open up and Quincy was willing to do what some other cities are doing, which is block off a couple of streets to allow areas that have a lot of restaurants to have outdoor dining, would that be something that you'd consider?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that would be great. But again, what are the restrictions with that? And then we're at the mercy of weather, of course. But I would be absolutely open to my block of Hancock Street getting shut down and even one side of it, because there are a lot of restaurants right here. We've got a nice little restaurant row going. If you look at it from towards the square, you have the Townsend, and then another block away, or like 2 blocks further down, I know of another restaurant that's opening up. From there to there, there's got to be, I'd say probably 10 or 12 different restaurants and eateries. So in a 2-block space.
That would make sense because Hancock Street has that density, and you've got neighboring streets around it like Washington Street that people could still drive on in this parking areas.
Exactly. And who knows what traffic's going to be like coming out of this. So it might be even more feasible than ever.
Yeah, I know a lot of businesses aren't returning back unless necessary. Like even our company, we're I feel more efficient, in our pajamas, which let's be honest, that's what's happening below. And so we don't plan on going back until at least we've decided Labor Day. And yeah, we just made the call. We went, okay, enjoy your summer, take those walks, get outside. You're already stressed as is. And so I have to imagine a lot of businesses are doing that. So what an opportune time to support your local community with restaurants. And if there are initiatives that you can share with the group to help let us help you help your industry, that would be something awesome to share back, because I know everyone here would sign something. I don't know what I'd sign, but I'd sign something.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually reached out to the Quincy Chamber of Commerce in particular, just because they're around the corner, to talk to City Hall about this. I know there's a City Hall meeting this coming week. Hopefully there's a conversation like that on there, but just the best thing to help restaurants and like really every small business there is just go out and eat, order takeout, post it on social media, get the word out, that kind of thing. Because at some point we'll be able to reopen, and people just need to be comfortable and confident enough in what's going on that they feel safe going out to eat. Of all the businesses that are shut down right now, I mean, restaurants are particularly in a spot that when we reopen, we have 3 different health codes we have to follow. Like there are federal mandates, there are state mandates, and local mandates. Like wearing gloves is not unusual to us. Sanitizing spaces after people use them is common practice for us. Like a lot of the things that other groups are being asked to do are already things we practice on a daily basis. So that the whole idea of us being closed, it's kind of like, outside of a hospital, I can't imagine a cleaner space, and hopefully the state sees it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good part. It's imprinted in your every day.
Yeah, I mean, like Chef and I both have sanitation certifications from national organizations. Ashley actually teaches at Ash, why am I drawing a blank? You're at Bunker Hill?
I'm at Bunker Hill Community College.
She's at Bunker Hill Community College teaching a course right now on sanitation to students. So our industry in particular is already, things that are in place are just commonplace for us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense you would be part of like one of the more trusted groups to reopen.
I'd like to think so. It's that whole idea.
We all miss you.
Trust me, we miss you too. It's on nights like tonight when we're doing takeout, it's great just to have our regulars come to the door and say hi. It's just nice to see people.
Yeah. It's nice to be seen. I mean,
I was just going to say that.
We have someone right now. So I actually have to run and take care of this little takeout situation we got going on. But thank you.
Thanks for chatting with us. That was awesome.
Thank you, Matt and Ashley.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep, thanks for doing this. A lot of fun.
We'll soon.
Somebody had asked a question about Eat South Shore, so I just want to explain what that is very quickly. So Eat South Shore was created to essentially do things like this to help our restaurants in the South Shore area. We have a dedicated website, social media. I go out, I get to take pictures. It's very nice for me. And then I just try to help and market those restaurants as much as I can. We have 40 restaurant members that participate. Go to eatsouthshore.com and find some on there. I have to add a couple more that have come on during all this, which is great. So that's what the Chamber is doing to help. And it's been around for about 2 years, picks up more and more speed every year. normally we get to do fun events like Hogtoberfest or other things, but we're gonna have to rethink all that stuff and how we go about doing it. And so I reached out to Matt and said, let's just try this and see how it goes. So now that it seemed to go pretty well, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And so we'll definitely reach out to our other restaurants and chefs and see what they want to do, if they, you know, want to teach us how to make, sorry, I have a 4-year-old, you know, how to make shepherd's pie or whatever. So we'll figure it out. And
This was definitely
again,
fun, Heather.
oh,
Thank
great,
you.
great. And your support to all these restaurants, and it's just super important right now. And
I agree with
everybody's
Susan.
struggling, and you can follow us. I share almost everything, even non-members at this point, just because we're trying to help everyone. So, you know, just follow us on Eat South Shore, and mostly Instagram, because that's really where it's at. It's food. People want to see pictures of food. So we, that's what we do. That's what Eat South Shore is.
Thank you guys. Thanks
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
All
Matt.
right.
Thanks.
Come eat there.
Be well.